The Busby family, beloved stars of the hit TLC reality series OutDaughtered, have long invited fans into their home and hearts as they navigated life with America's only all-female set of quintuplets. From the early days of diaper changes and bottle feedings to the more recent challenges of raising 6 daughters with very distinct personalities, Adam and Danielle Busby have remained a beacon of strength and unity. However, their latest update has left fans reeling and hearts heavy. In a deeply emotional and candid revelation, the Busbys recently shared heartbreaking news regarding the health of one of their quintuplets, sweet, sensitive Parker Kate Busby. Known for her quiet demeanor and thoughtful nature, Parker has always stood out in the family as the introspective soul. But behind her gentle smiles and soft-spoken nature, something much more serious has been unfolding. A troubling shift in Parker's behavior. Adam and Danielle first began noticing subtle changes in Parker's behavior over the past several months. She began withdrawing from family activities she once loved, such as gymnastics, swimming, and even family movie nights. Parker, who was already more reserved than her sisters, appeared to be retreating into her shell more than usual. The changes were concerning enough that the Busbys decided to consult with medical professionals. What initially seemed like shyness or a sensitive temperament soon gave way to a more troubling possibility. Parker was battling something more profound than they'd realized. The diagnosis that shook the Busby household. After a series of appointments with pediatricians, specialists, and child psychologists, the family received a diagnosis that changed everything. Parker was struggling with a significant anxiety disorder, compounded by signs of a sensory processing condition. For Adam and Danielle, the diagnosis was both a relief and a heartbreak. Relief in the sense that they finally had some answers, but heartbreak knowing their little girl was carrying such a heavy burden at such a young age. Danielle, in a tearful sit-down, shared how guilty she felt for not recognizing the signs sooner. "We always thought she was just shy. But to think she's been struggling this much inside, and we didn't know, it breaks me," she confessed. Adam, usually the light-hearted one, also struggled to contain his emotions, saying, "You always want to fix things for your kids. And right now, we just want to help Parker feel safe, confident, and happy again." How Parker's condition affects daily life. Since the diagnosis, life in the Busby household has changed considerably. The couple has adjusted their parenting approach to ensure Parker receives the attention and resources she needs to manage her anxiety. Mornings, once rushed and chaotic, are now structured and calm, designed to avoid overwhelming Parker. The Busbys have introduced sensory-friendly routines, and Parker now sees a child therapist weekly to help her learn coping techniques and manage her emotional responses. Simple things like going to school, attending birthday parties, or even being in large group settings can now be overwhelming for Parker. As a result, Danielle often accompanies her to school to help ease the transition. They've even converted a section of their home into a calming space, a quiet corner equipped with sensory toys, calming lights, and a cozy reading nook where Parker can retreat whenever the world feels too loud. Support from her sisters. The impact of Parker's diagnosis has rippled through the family, but what has stood out the most is the support from her sisters. Olivia, Ava, Riley, and Hazel have all stepped up in unique ways to help their sister feel loved and supported. Riley, who is the most outspoken of the Quints, took it upon herself to learn about anxiety and now regularly reminds Parker to take deep breaths when she seems overwhelmed. Hazel, known for her empathy and close bond with Parker, often sits beside her during therapy sessions or accompanies her to her calming corner. Even Blake, the eldest Busby daughter, has shown immense maturity, often acting as a second mom when Danielle and Adam need extra hands. "We're all in this together," Blake told her parents during a heartfelt moment caught on camera. The struggles behind the scenes. Though they've shared some of the story with the public, Adam and Danielle admit that much of what they deal with remains unseen. Danielle described how there are nights when Parker cries herself to sleep or days when she's too anxious to leave her room. Adam admitted that being in the public eye has made the journey more complex. People see our smiles and the fun stuff on social media, but they don't always see the tears, the doctor visits, or the sleepless nights, he said. Despite their reality TV fame, the Busbys have kept some of the more difficult aspects of Parker's struggle private, choosing instead to focus on healing and supporting their daughter away from the spotlight when necessary. Making the hard decisions. One of the biggest decisions the family has faced since Parker's diagnosis is whether or not to continue filming OutDaughtered. Though the show has brought joy to millions, it has also meant increased pressure and exposure for the children, something Adam and Danielle are now reevaluating with Parker's needs in mind. There are moments we've wondered if continuing the show is the right thing to do, Danielle said. Parker's well-being comes first. If that means stepping away from the cameras, then that's what we'll do. Fans may recall that the Busbys already took a break from filming in the past, citing the need for family focus. With Parker's health in the picture now, another hiatus, or even a permanent end, may be on the horizon. A community of support. If there's a silver lining to this emotional chapter in the Busbys' lives, it's the outpouring of support from fans and other families facing similar battles. Messages of encouragement have flooded their inboxes, with many parents sharing their own children's experiences with anxiety and sensory disorders. Danielle shared that one message from a mother of a similarly aged child particularly stuck with her. She told me, "Thank you for sharing your story. It made me feel less alone." That's when I knew we had to speak out not just for Parker, but for every kid going through this. Focusing on healing. In the months following the diagnosis, the Busbys have shifted their focus entirely to healing and building resilience. They've worked closely with specialists to implement therapy strategies at home, including sensory play, mindfulness techniques, and communication exercises. Adam, who has openly discussed his own struggles with mental health in the past, has used this moment to deepen his understanding and become a more patient, emotionally available father. He now hosts a podcast segment occasionally dedicated to parental mental health, hoping to normalize these conversations among dads. Danielle has also started journaling and advocating for mental health awareness on her blog. In a recent entry, she wrote, "Mental health isn't always visible. It's easy to miss. But once you see it, you can never unsee it, and that's when the real journey begins." The road ahead. As the family looks ahead, they remain hopeful and committed. While Parker's journey with anxiety and sensory sensitivity will be ongoing, the Busbys are more equipped than ever to help her thrive. They've made peace with the fact that there will be good days and bad days.